Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first video, my read video of Barbara Gittings. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. And while I know that I should really be talking about Barbara Gittings and all the other people I'm going to be doing here, for these videos, I'm going to be focusing on the art. I can't help it. I'm just going to be focusing on the art and the art products and the struggle that I went through. Now, I am positive that I did this in 2000, 2021, 2022. It might have been as late, as recent as 2023. But I'm more than positive I did this in about 2021, 2022. And I got to tell you, first off, obviously I wet the back of this page down, and I found out personally, we had some extremely dry weather here, extremely arid. Just it was absolutely just so dry, and everything was drying out so fast that I couldn't keep anything wet down, and I couldn't keep it wet down long enough to even paint. So and it was because just the atmosphere in the very house that I was in was just soaking up instantly the water in the paint. So I found out, and this really does help. I found out that wetting down the back of the image actually does a lot of good. So if you're in a really dry area, an arid area, a desert type area, definitely wet down the back of your paper. Also, what wetting down the back of your paper does is it stops it from buckling. It stops it from warping. It majorly stops it from warping. But you usually have to get the front of the paper pretty wet too. But usually, I actually found out that wetting down the back of the paper. And yes, this is wood pulp paper. It's supposed to have cotton mixed into it because it is supposed to be watercolor paper, but it's mainly wood pulp. And I'm finding out that it is Canson brand, and I believe it's an 11 by 14 size page. So there is that. So it is really rather large, but wood pulp, cotton, no matter what it is, definitely wetting down the back of the page helps, and it helps a lot, and it keeps it from getting as badly buckled as it usually would be. Now, see this right here, I recorded and I posted these videos forever ago on a totally different channel, and this right here is this painting, and I think I started it one year, and I started trying to paint it again the next year, and this is the next year's painting of it. And obviously the background had completely dried. It had 110% dried, and I'm repainting it here. I'm repainting it, and I will eventually end up trying to erase where the paint had spilled into the figure, but that page would have been so much worse off if I hadn't gotten water on the back of it, if I hadn't completely soaked the back of it. And I found out that even if you want to do a dry watercolor, something where you're not going to wet the page down first, wetting the back of it works so well. It obviously, wetting the back of it works far better if you actually want to work wet in wet or wet on wet. But it works really well if you want to work, have a wet paintbrush and work on dry paper. It works if you have a dry paintbrush and you want to work on dry paper, because watercolor is a wet medium, and actually the best thing to do is to wet down the very back of your page, so that way when it does eventually dry, when you let it dry, it won't warp nearly as badly as it would if you just applied water to the front of it, to the surface of it. So there's a big tip for all you watercolorists out there. I am having a very difficult time doing, actually just this piece, because this piece is the only thing that I've managed to do as of thus far. So, and you can see me talking there on the video with my hands and everything. I actually filmed all of this and I didn't speed it up initially, and I posted it as is, as like a 2 and 3 hour. Some of them were only 1 hour long videos, but I posted them as is, and I was talking all throughout them, all throughout the videos. And I was actually distracting myself because I would start in on one subject and I wouldn't finish talking about it. So, which is why I decided to just edit the videos up, speed them up, and cut them down, and just do what I'm doing now. And just doing an overview, basically, of these videos, more or less, if you want to call it that. So I took them from about 3 hours and I cut them down to about, obviously this one is 6 minutes long. They're all around 6 to 10 minutes long now. So, and that's it for this video. All I got to talk about was wetting the paper down and wetting the back of the paper down, but I think that's worth it. I definitely think that's worth it. And I'm so glad that I'm able to talk about it in a much happier mood than I was feeling when I first started here. So that's good. And happy June. Happy lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, asexual, questioning and queer and two-souled and plus and, everybody month. And yeah, have a good month, have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please come back to watch the rest of them. Bye.